Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about are you all in? And in this video, I'm not going to do fancy editing. This is going to be a one-take wonder because that's the kind of mood I'm in right now. So first and foremost, if you can't sit through a 10-minute video, if you haven't developed your attention enough to actually sit through a 10-minute video and you need to see cuts every 10 seconds, you need to see pictures of the ocean and pictures of your dream house, well, that's one reason why maybe you're struggling with manifesting. So again, I'm in a unique mood today. I'm more into in your face in this video and telling you what's working, what's not working. So we're going to talk about are you all in? And by the way, I developed links in the description. I'll have a link in the description and a link pinned as a pinned comment as well. If you want to work with me, if you want to reach out to me, how to get in touch with me. So those links are there as well. But anyway, let's rock and roll. Again, I don't even want to apologize to you because I'm in your face right now. Today is a no holds bar day. Are you all in? Because this is probably the key to manifesting. If you want to talk about manifesting, law of attraction, law of assumption, or whatever you want to talk about, you want to talk about success, are you all in? Okay, it doesn't matter how you want to frame it. It doesn't matter how you want to say, it doesn't matter if you either want to argue about terminologies here. Are you all in life? Are you all in your decisions that you're making? And a matter of fact that even for myself, even when I look back at my life, I've never been all in on my decisions. What's all in mean? Okay, like when I do videos about decision making committed decisions. What does a committed decision mean? A committed decision means that you're all in. Nothing wavers you from that decision. Okay, most of you, and I used to be there myself, most of you think you're making a committed decision. You think you're all in until shit hits the fan. You think you're all in until that one difficulty comes into your life. You think you're all in until you have that roadblock. You think you're all in until you walk outside and you get in your car to go to work and you have a flat tire and you have a meltdown over that flat tire. Or you use that as an excuse. Well, you see, manifesting don't work. This law of attraction technique don't work because I got a flat tire today. Okay, what you have to understand is when you go all in is that your conscious mind is your logical mind, okay? Your conscious mind wants to protect you. And also what you have to understand about your conscious mind is that your conscious mind, how do I want to say it? Your conscious mind, since it wants to protect you, it wants to guard you, your conscious mind, it's protecting your old identity. Does that make sense? It's protecting your old self. So if your old self is very indecisive, your old self isn't used to making a committed decision. Your whole old self isn't used to going all in. So your conscious mind is gonna protect your old self. It's gonna protect your old identity, the old Chad, the old you. Okay, the old you, let's put it another way. If you want to be wealthy, you want to be a millionaire, that's your new identity that you're setting for yourself, but your old identity is broke and struggling in poverty. So your conscious mind usually wants to protect your old identity. That's what's really going on. And what you have to understand is when you make a committed decision, your conscious mind is going to go wild. You get me on that? Your conscious mind is going to start having a heart attack. Your conscious mind is going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, and it's going to do everything in its power because that's your old identity to basically stop you in your tracks, to basically get you to give up and get you and basically run back to your comfort zone, to run back to your old self. That's your conscious mind. And you have to understand is when you do these manifesting techniques, I hate to say techniques, but when you actually sit down and make a firm decision, this is what I want in my life, this is how I want my life to go. Well, you're going to battle. There's going to be a battle going on. And that battle is going on between the new self that you want and your old self. But what's going to remind you of your old self is your conscious mind, your logical mind, your analytical mind. It's going to constantly remind you, what the fuck are you thinking? Chad, you can't do this. You can't be a multimillionaire. You can't be an entrepreneur. You can't be in great relationships. You can't make tons of money. You can't retire your mom. That's your conscious mind talking to you. But the key is, no matter how loud your conscious mind is, the key is what you got to do is you got to keep on moving forward, because you already know, this is the point of this video. You already know that a battle's going to be there to fight, and it's not a physical battle. Okay. This is a thinking battle. This is the emotional battle. This is a spiritual battle that's going on inside you, inside your mind. That's what you have to understand. Okay, once you understand that you're going to battle something, you understand in the beginning it's going to be tough and hard because your conscious mind is attacking you. You're going into it with the right time, with the right mind frame. That's the bottom line. Because if you're going into it with the right mind frame, well, I'm probably going to succeed. That's how it is. When you go into it prepared and you're going to come up against stuff, you're going to come against roadblocks, I might go down and this might happen, but I don't give it no energy. I don't even give it two fucks, and I walk around it. I don't let it bother me. I don't let it concern me, because I know the great I am is inside me, and I know that God's going to supply all my needs. And if you know this, you know that I am inside you. Abundance is your birthright. Abundance is yours. Abundance is all around you. Heaven is within you. The Holy Spirit is inside you. If you know this, then really speak this truth. Most of the time we know this truth, but we don't speak it. So let's go back to, are you all in, or do you have your big toe dipping into the baby pool of a great big swimming pool? That's usually how we make our decisions. And that's usually the old Chad. Okay, the old Chad is, I've always been indecisive, okay, growing up, because when I was growing up my whole life, I had decisions made for me. Because I had a very overbearing parent. My dad was very overbearing, protective. He wanted you to do everything what he wanted you to do. So I grew up as an empath, and I grew up very indecisive, not making decisions for myself. What happens is that bleeds over to every single area of your life. That bleeds over to, when I'm an adult, that bleeds over to entrepreneurship, success, having a job, relationships, friendships, and so on and so on and so on. And that's why your life will be mediocre. I'll just be honest with you. Because when I look back to all my relationships, and all my relationships have been great relationships, but the bottom line is I was never all in. Even when you talk about relationships, I was never all in making a committed decision. Like I'm running, like vision this, you're running towards a swimming pool. Maybe there's a park in your town or a city has a giant pool. Imagine yourself running to the swimming pool. You're running to the deep end of the pool, and you're jumping and doing a cannonball into the deep end of the pool. That's being all in. That's making a committed decision. So here is, are you all in? When you make a decision, are you all in? If you're in a relationship, no matter if you're married, you have a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, are you all in? Are you all in? When you want to be an entrepreneur, you say, I want to be an entrepreneur. Are you all in, or are you wavering back and forth going like this? Okay, you got a million things going on because you're worried, because your conscious mind is going crazy. See, once you go all in, your conscious mind isn't used to this new version of yourself. It's going to go crazy. It wants you to go right back to the old version of you, your old identity, your old self. That's your conscious mind. It wants you to go back to your comfort zone. That's another word for it. It wants you to run backwards because it wants to keep you safe. It wants you to keep that old identity of you. It wants to keep you safe. That's what you have to understand with this. So once you do that cannonball to the deep end of the pool, once you make 100%, I'm all in. I'm all in on this relationship, good or bad. I'm all in. Once you make that decision, well, your old self is going to pop up. Now the work is once you make a decision, you train yourself. I made this decision. I'm not wavering. I'm still walking forward. I'm still moving forward. And you have all these thoughts in your head. God said that I'm more than enough. God lives inside me. God is perfect. That makes me perfect. God wants to do the best for me. Even if you develop kind of robotic affirmations around it, because your mind's going to go wild. Every time I spend money, it comes back double. Anytime someone does something bad to me, I'm repaid by 7 times. The holiness is inside me. I am is inside me. Abundance is my birthright. The reason why Jesus came is to show people abundance. I can do the same thing. All the miracles Jesus had done to all his disciples and shown everybody, I can do as well, and I can do even more. And you repeat this stuff to you. What works for you? You develop affirmations around yourself. Okay, my affirmation, robotic affirmations might not work for you. This is why it takes a little bit of work. But once your mind goes down the rabbit hole in negativity, you have something that pulls you out. But you don't give up, whatever that committed decision is. No matter what you're all in for. If you're all in for relationships, if you're all in for being an entrepreneur, you go all in. You don't waver. Being all in as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't spend all my time getting up and saying, oh, I gotta look for a job. I gotta look for a job. And I'm spending all my time looking for a job. That's not being all in. If you're all in a relationship, it's not that when you get in one argument, one disagreement, you're thinking to yourself, you might not say it, but you know what I mean. You might not say it, but you're thinking to yourself, maybe it's time to find someone new. That's not being all in. If you're all in buying your dream house, are you all in? Nothing's wavering you. Nothing's sidetracking you. That's a decision that you made. You're all in. If you're all in on buying your dream car, are you all in? Nothing's wavering. Nobody can talk you out of it. Nobody can talk you out of you want your Porsche 911 twin turbo convertible. Nobody can talk you into, well, maybe you should settle for a Honda Civic. Maybe that's more economical. And what you have to understand, you are going to get this stuff because no matter if you're introvert, extrovert, you still hang around people. Okay, you might have a significant other. You might be married. You have your core group of friends, no matter if it's one person. You have your family. You have your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles and your parents all telling you that you're nuts and crazy, all telling you, giving you very logical advice, like in their opinion, they're giving you the best advice that they can give you. Okay, some of it isn't harmful, okay? But what you have to understand is you're going to get that kind of feedback. You're going to get someone telling you, settle for the Honda Civic, be economical, save that money. Why do you want to spend $200,000 on a car? But if that's what you really want, you have to understand, you make it all in decision. That's what you want, and you don't waver. You want your dream house, whatever that is for you. You go all in that you're going to buy your dream house. You don't waver. You don't waver for a fixer-upper. You don't waver for something half the price. You don't waver into living in an apartment. You don't waver into buying a condo. You don't waver into moving in a condo. You're all in on that decision. That's what you have to understand. You have to be all in. Are you all in? Do you make all in decisions? Do you make committed decisions? That's the question. That's something you have to be honest with yourself, because when you go back to manifesting techniques, Neville Goddard, Thomas Troward, Joseph Murphy, and when they talk Napoleon Hill, when they talk about decisions, okay, they're talking about even Napoleon Hill, they talk about having a burning desire. Neville Goddard, setting an intention and being persistent in it. Napoleon Hill even says, burn all your bridges behind you. What they're really talking about is being all in. Having a burning desire is being all in. Even when the success gurus out today, if you go to their seminars, maybe you follow them on YouTube, this is exactly why they tell you is when you make a decision, follow it. Even with simple decisions. If someone invites you to the birthday party and you say, yes, I'm going to go, do you actually show up? Do you actually commit to it? Or once you say, okay, I'll go. But once you walk away, you're already thinking, how can I get out of it? If someone invites you to the party, do you do the same thing? If somebody invites you to go out to eat, do you do the same thing? Are you making committed all-in decisions? Simple decisions and big hardcore decisions. That's why they tell you that start off with simple things, because once you commit and be all in for simple things, it will be easier for you to be all in with huge decisions. Your dream house, your dream car, being in great relationships. And this is something I've learned even being in relationships. Like when I grew up, I'll give you this piece really quick here. Like when I grew up in a small town. And in a small town, when I grew up, you really see that people are trapped in a small town. That's what I saw growing up. Like when people bought a house, they were trapped into that mortgage. Then another thing in a small town is that most small towns are factory towns. So you see, for one, you see people trapped into a mortgage that sometimes they don't want, or they're trapped into a relationship they don't want. They're trapped into a job they don't want because it's a factory, but that's like the best paying factory in the whole town. And they can't quit their job, because when they quit their job, they're going to lose their cars and the mortgage and their house and stuff like that. So when I grew up, I saw this. But at that time, that created an identity around me, because what happened was when I grew up in my 20s and 30s, when I got in relationships, great relationship, I was married before, but that's what ruined those relationships. I want you to understand that, because I wasn't all in. In the back of my mind, a small little voice I always carried with me, I always felt like if I was in a relationship or married, I was trapped. I couldn't do what I really wanted to do. Makes sense? If I want to be an entrepreneur, well, I couldn't be an entrepreneur and be in a great relationship at the same time. If I wanted a dream house, well, I couldn't have my dream house and be in a great relationship at the same time, because I had all these negative core beliefs that I saw with my eyes growing up in a small town. That people were not happy, they were not satisfied, they felt trapped, and they felt trapped because they were worked at a factory, they couldn't quit because they had a mortgage and a cars and a family to support. So when I grew up, I can really remember, I didn't want to be involved with a mortgage. I always wanted to rent, because I always wanted to either move around, or it's easy to get out. It's easy to, you don't have that trapped feeling. Okay, when I got inside even relationships or great relationships, I would actually do the same thing. Okay, in the beginning it would be great, but then later on, and it would be my fault, my responsibility. But later on, I want to enjoy that relationship or like that relationship, because it always made me feel trapped, because it always made me feel like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Does that make sense? Or maybe you're going through that right now. You've had those past feelings before. But what I want to tell you is the mistake I've made in the past that I'm doing better with now is being all in on my decisions. If you're in a relationship, if I'm in a relationship, I'm all in. If I want to buy a house, buy my dream house, I'm all in, because now I understand that you can have whatever you want to have. You can have that great, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can be a great multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, plus be in a fantastic relationship. Okay, you can have it all. You can combine everything. Everything is yours. Okay, if you want to have your dream house, well, you're all in on your dream house, and you can have your dream house at the same time being an entrepreneur, and at the same time being in a great relationship. You can do whatever you want to do, but it starts with being all in. See, when I was kind of going through that phase, and that phase lasted a long time. I want to say this in the mic. It lasted like decades. Okay, that's me being honest and transparent. It lasted decades, okay? And so I start figuring this stuff out, because we all have these deep-rooted beliefs that gear us. We all have these deep-rooted beliefs that's actually keeping us from our promised land. If you go back to biblical texts. Okay, what's keeping you from your promised land? What's really keeping you from having these manifesting techniques work? Okay, and it's really coming down to these core principles here. And this core principle I'm sharing with you in this video is you're not all in. You're not going all in. Okay, you might think you're going all in. You might think you're making committed decisions. But once one negative thing happens, you tell yourself, or your conscious mind will tell you, well, see, I told you this wasn't going to work. I told you this success principle wasn't going to work. I told you this Navigalo technique wasn't going to work. I told you this new self-identity isn't going to work. And this is what you tell yourself. Then you go right back to the way you were. You go right back to your old identity. Rather than knowing, like in the beginning of the video, rather than knowing that you're going to encounter this, your old self is going to fight against you. Your old identity is going to fight against your new identity you're trying to make. It's going to happen, but you don't let it move you. You don't let it shatter you. You keep moving forward. Like you have blinders on. Okay, you have tunnel vision. You have tunnel vision exactly where you're going because you made that committed decision. You're all in. I have tunnel vision, but things are going around and beside me, but I don't let it faze me. I don't give a fuck. That's what it really means of not giving a fuck. You don't care, but you don't care because the great I am inside me, the great I am wants the best for me. The great I am is going to provide for me and give me exactly what I want. You have to truly believe this stuff. But other than that, my friends, this video lasts about 20 minutes or something like that. Just wanted to share that with you. It was more kind of a little bit hardcore talk, a little bit in your face a little bit, but I just wanted to share that. But that's something, I'm going through too. And what I really see kind of working in my life of being committed, having committed decisions. And what I mean by committed, you're all in, baby. It's like, it's like you're walking on the high dive of a swimming pool and you jump off. That's being all in. That's what it means having a committed decision. The issue is when a committed decision, being all in, you have one plan and that is it. You don't have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. You don't have a plan going across all the letters of the alphabet. Like, well, this don't work, I'll do this. And if that don't work, I'll do this. If that don't work, I'll do this. That's not a committed decision. That's your conscious mind playing tricks on you. A committed decision. This is what Joseph Murphy talks about. This is what Napoleon Hill talks about. This is what Neville Goddard talks about. This is what Thomas Troward talks about. This is what they're talking about. Being all in. You're running to that swimming pool and you're jumping into the deep end of the pool, no matter if you can swim or not, and you're doing a cannonball. And when you hit that water, if you don't know how to swim, you hit that water, you go underneath, you're swimming to the top and you're figuring out how to swim along the way. That's a committed decision. Sometimes a committed decision is going to scare the shit out of you, but you still make it, you still do it. You don't waver, you stay with it. And these are the hardcore truths. These are the hardcore secrets. This is the simple stuff that we're not doing in manifesting in success. But other than that, my friends, peace out. Blessings to you. Thanks for watching. Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you in the next video.